In this video, I want to show you how to change out a battery pack in a massager. This is a 21.6 volt massager made by Toloco. So this won't work with the type of massagers that have a connector that is USB-C, which is probably, it's a 5 volt charger. This is actually a 24 volt barrel connector. But the process might be the same. I'm not sure as far as changing out the internal battery. I'm sure it is. It's just a different voltage. So the first step I'm going to do is to pop off these little covers right here. These just cover the screws. So these just slide out like that. I've already removed 3 of the screws. So I'm just removing the last one. So there's a screw inside of here. So I'm just going to remove that with a Phillips screwdriver. After removing the screws, this body should split apart. There's a little lip on the underside of this that is on the underside of this this plastic piece, so it might have to bend out a tiny bit to actually pop out. Splitting it and then pulling out at the same time. There we go. Oh, yeah, the lip. So the lip is right here. So you gotta be careful because these connectors are right here. So I'm gonna remove those now. This is where these picks should come in handy. So there are 2 connectors. There's one right here, and this one on the other side is gonna be similar. So there's a little tab right here that I'm gonna depress, then pull out. So I'm pressing out with my finger, and I'm gonna pull out with the pick. There we go. So now it's removed, and these are kind of, they were tied together, twisted to take up slack. So now it should split apart like this. So this part is the top half. Here's the bearing, and here's the cam right here that allows it to go back and forth right here with this ram on this side. Pretty cool. So I'm going to set this aside. So I got a smaller screwdriver since these are some tiny screws. So there are 3 screws that are securing the internal part of this handle to the this top part. So I'm going to try to show that right here. You can see there's 1 screw here, here, and here. I already removed these 2. So now I'm going to remove them. I want to remove this last one right here. So it's a normal screw, but they're pretty small. So I got a much smaller Phillips head. So now that those 3 screws are removed, I'm gonna pull this wire back. There's a little holder for the wire, so this just pulls out of it. And now this entire handle will just slide out like that. And then I'm just gonna set this part aside. Next, I'm going to remove this this rubber sleeve. So this should just come right off. It's gonna be a little sticky with all the friction, but it should slide off. I'm gonna get my flathead screwdriver and stick it in here and try to unwedge it. So there are just some catches on the inside that unclipped by sticking the screwdriver in. So I'm just going to pry it out. Same thing right here. So this should just separate now. So there's the top cover. And here is the battery pack, which should be the exact same as the new one. So this will just slide out like this. And this clips in right down here. So this is routed so that it goes underneath this other set of wires. So to unclip it, I'm going to get my pick and just slide out the connector like that. And then pull the old battery out, being careful not to pull these other wires out. You can use the pick to move them out of the way. And here is the old battery. So I'm gonna put the new battery in the exact same way, and also these might have different polarities, so make sure these polarities are the same. So it looks like in my case these polarities might have actually reversed, so I think they sent me the incorrect battery, because I ordered the correct battery. I verified. So I have verified with the multimeter that the wires are correct, as in red is positive, black is negative. I just received the incorrectly wired connector, so I'm gonna have to switch the wires, otherwise the polarity will be opposite. So here's my old battery. So here's the red. I'm gonna put red on red, and so you can see the voltage. So there's a positive 24 volts. And I already checked this one, so this is correct. This came in at 22 volts, but I'm sure it needs to be charged. So what I'm going to do is just cut the connector off of my old battery and then put it on the new one. And I'm going to put this battery back in. I'm going to put the old foam that I removed on the bottom here. Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to connect it back to the main part right here and make sure that this actually functions, just in case. So to do this, I'm just going to connect this like so. With that connected, I'm going to just turn the switch on the bottom here, so I see the green light, and then I'm going to hold this and just power it on. And everything looks fine, so I'm going to unplug it and continue to reassemble it. So I'm going to put the cover on right here, make sure all of this is secured. Next, I'm going to put the rubber sleeve back on. Easiest to slide it over like this. Next, I'm going to route the wire through here. So I should have mentioned, in this case, there's a groove on the casing here, and there's a mating female groove right here. So it has to go in that exact way, like this. And that'll automatically have your wire where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to put it back in the little fork there and connect this top part. Before I connect the top part though, I'm going to put some grease here. So this looks like some silicone grease right here. So I'm just going to dab some on so I get a little more life out of this, so this doesn't wear out this looks like rubber maybe. You can see all of this powder that has been generated from use. So to put this back together, it's the exact same way as removing it, but it's important not to forget to twist these wires, because these were kind of twisted around each other to take up slack so that it can't contact the back of this bearing housing right here. So make sure and keep that in mind. So I actually forgot, these little screws need to go in to secure the battery. I'm not going to remove everything, I'm just going to put one screw in to keep it from falling back out. So they just go into the little holes and screw in. I'm pushing the cam all the way back to see if it's going to touch those wires, and I see that there's a big gap there, so I know that it'll never touch. So keep that in mind, make sure and check this Otherwise, it'll eventually wear through those wires. So to put this back together, this is going to be a little tough. This little lip right here will need to slide underneath this part. And so you're going to have to kind of bend the plastic a little bit to get the top part, the top lip done, and then while applying pressure, slide in the bottom part so that this lip also goes underneath here correctly. Okay, now that that is back in, I'm going to put these screws back in. And lastly, I'm going to put these screw covers back in. And that is how to replace a battery pack in a 21.6 volt massager. Thanks for watching.